We're here at BMW Invasion 2025. There's over 1,300 cars on site. There's over 10,000 people here, and we have some amazing sections that we're going to take you through some of them and show you some of the standout fan favorites of the day. So let's get started. All right, so the first car I wanted to show you right when you walk into the main hall is the IND G87. This was a previous blue car that they showcased all their parts on that they've actually taken apart and repainted and done some changes. So this has the full Alpha N carbon suite, which used to be totally gloss, that they've converted to a matte finish by using a matte clear on everything carbon on the car, which really has a good contrast to the paint, which is a PTS Eraseum Green, which is an old 356 color back from the 60s of Porsche. It's one of my favorite colors, and it's amazing to see it here at a BMW event on this brand new G87. You'll also notice that under the hood, it has a really special carbon Kevlar even cherry intake, which you normally cannot order this. This is a one-of-one for this car, and because IND is the even cherry distributor, they're able to get really special colors like that and finishes only for their portfolio cars. Another thing you'll notice is it has a matte black CSF charge cooler, matches the matte finish of all the carbon around the car. So moving to the side, this is the Alpha N fender that's well known on these cars. It's a GT3 RS style fender with the vent and then also the arrow that's down here. And this is also done in the dry carbon that I mentioned with the matte clear coat with the gloss finish, really good contrast. Moving down to the wheels, these are gold FIR Evos, which they have the aggressive pocketing. These are the lightest version of these wheels that you can get. And hiding back there in the back are MMX carbon ceramic rotors, which is an amazing upgrade for this car. It obviously eliminates brake dust, but because carbon ceramic was not offered on the G87, it's a great upgrade that is pretty simple to do. It's just expensive rotors. As we move back, it has a continuation of the dry carbon with the Alpha N side skirt, which is a side skirt extension, sort of opens as you go to the back. And then something that's unique for only this car is the mirrors. These are GT3 M4 Evo mirrors that's been adapted to work with the G87. These mirrors have to come from a BMW Motorsport dealer, people that own and run the car and race the car. They're able to get their hands on it and they made it adapt. So it's truly a special thing for this car that they've been able to do. Interior has a lot of things going on. First thing you'll notice is the Recaro Profi seats. These are the lightest seats you can get from Recaro. It's basically just a carbon shell with padding, and they've done the padding in a Porsche tartan, which is sort of a plaid design, to tie in, I think, with the classic Porsche design and the color. There's a MadTrace V2 wheel, which has a full LED readout and screen. It actually is programmable, so you can put the turn signals on the buttons. You can do anything you need to do with the G chassis platform. You can build it into that wheel. There's also another special Porsche touch on the car, which is the 917 shift knob, which they've added. This is a manual car, so it's a really nice touch to kind of carry through the car. Also, you'll see that they have a fall line roll bar here in the back with a closeout, which is basically a rear seat delete that's made with metal panels to sort of just clear out everything and keep the trunk section from the rest of the car. Let's go ahead and move to the back of the car and I'll show you the exhaust and some of the other aero. To talk about this wing for a second, this is based on the lightweight wing from the E36. It's a multi-piece wing with a platform with risers for this top piece, again done with a matte finish that ties in all the carbon. That carries down to the diffuser. This is the separate piece diffuser from Alpha N. Another great design for the G87. Very aggressive, just like the car. And it's also paired with the Eisenman rear exhaust with the carbon tips. Another special IND touch. They are the Eisenman distributor, so they're able to get special stuff. Really amazing car to see, really refreshing car to see. I love those Porsche PTS colors and see them on BMWs. There's a lot more special cars here at the show, so let's go take a look. So this is all a part of the main hall of BMW Invasion. We have all the vendors here. We have AR Motorworks, BBS, KW. We just left IND. Toyo Tires is over here. We also have Adro, Liqui-Moly. All the brands that you guys would normally see are all here, and they all have display cars. So it's a pretty crazy scene, and it's really hard to pick out the special cars, but we have some special for you coming up. So we're here in the Taste the Rainbow section of the main hall, and this is a showcase of all individual colors and requested colors and are special for BMW. There's a lot of cars here and a lot of them are super special, but for me, my favorite is this Lime Rock, which is Fire Orange 2, which is the color of the original GTS E92 that was made by BMW. And this is a Lime Rock, which is one of 200 cars that were made for the US in this color. And this has the mods that I had on my car, which was an individual Fire Orange car, and it makes it sort of a quasi GTS. So it's got the front lip, which is the GT4 style. It has the Recaro SPG XLs inside, paired with the Fire Orange roll bar, just like the GTS. This is also on some pretty cool wheels, motorsport design. These are BBS E88s in 18 with the silver, with the polished lip, flange lip. Great wheel for this car, very classic, but also sort of elevates it into the aftermarket look. Moving towards the back, there's also a GTS, kind of a GT4 style GTS wing on the back with the painted end plates and Fire Orange. Just a really well executed car that shows off the individuality, but also the special nature of a GTS and a Lime Rock only made for US. Even though this is my favorite, this is a really cool showcase of all the individual colors that people choose on all different chassis, E chassis, F chassis, NG, and they wanted to highlight it here in the main hall at BMW Invasion 2025. This is the Taste the Rainbow section. So we're outside between the halls. There's tons of cars everywhere, but we wanted to highlight this one, which is put up on these stairs here. This is an E30 non-M with the LTO wide body kit that was designed by the Kaiser. It has all of these add-on panels with the strafes in the front, and it's actually wrapped like the German police with the light and the Polizzi everywhere with the green and white. It also apparently has a single turbo kit with a wastegate dump, but it has great wheels. These are BBS RSs, which have been widened for the wide body kit. It's a great period wheel for the E30. Really makes the build for me. You've got some Alcantara Corbo seats with matching dash. There's also a roll bar here in the back just to kind of add to that race style look. You can really see how wide this is because there is the original panel. And the neat thing about this wide body kit, it actually retains most of the original bumpers and fenders from the E30. They just add on as a bolt-on, but it also carries through with the same design. So if you peek here, you can see the factory E30 fender with the strafes, and if you look inside, it's still all retained as an add-on. So it retains the really nice look of the E30 design with the wide body add-on. So it's one of those special touches that the Kaiser did. It has a really aggressive diffuser and this E30 style wing from the Sport Evo with the double inlet here. Really nice touch, really adds to the aggressiveness of this kit and the boxy nature of the E30. Really cool car to see in person at the show. Let's move on to the other halls and show you some more really cool things. So now we're here in the M Division Hall, which is a showcase of all of just M cars. And there's a lot of cool cars here, but one you don't see often is the XM, especially this highly modified. To start in the front, we have an S68 Eventuri intake that's specific for the XM. There's also some really cool golden wrench touches in here with the hardware and a carbonious anodized strut tower brace. Coming to the side, there's a set of 23-inch Vossen wheels, which really fills out these huge wheel wells. An XM is actually on an X7 chassis platform, so it's a really large car that really needs some big wheels. This has a gloss black Thule roof box, which I haven't seen on an XM at all. And the other thing you'll notice is this has a matte PPF finish. This is Marina Bay Blue, which is that really bright, rich blue from BMW metallic, but this has a matte PPF, giving it that matte finish look, which I really like on the XM. A rare car like this needs a special exhaust, and this is paired with the Akrapovic full slip-on, which has the most unique tips that I believe Akrapovic makes, which is a combination of carbon, which is a dry carbon style, with the titanium tip in this stacked version, which is a lot like the factory XM exhaust, just modified to look even better by Akrapovic. Next, we're gonna move on to a duel between F8X and G8X in style and modifications. Let's go check it out. We have a ton of F8X on this side and G8X on this side, all facing one another, and each one is special because it's modded particularly for the platform. F8X's generally is a more classic styling from BMW with the classic kidney grills that everyone's familiar with. So a lot of people pair these with wheels that a lot of people would call classic, like BBS E88s. Some have BBS LMs. Most F8X owners also add front lips, trunk spoilers, lowered on coilovers or lowering springs, because these cars were fairly high from the factory. It's a great example of the F chassis cars and the classic nature of the BMW design before they went to what most people call kind of the line in the sand on this side, which is the G8X platform, which is the very large grills or the buck teeth or all of the negative connotations that you want to add about this platform. But it actually has been adopted because it's sold the most M3 and M4s of any other generation is actually G8X. A lot of these here, which is a very common modification on G8Xs, is changing the front grille. So this is a carbon inlet grille. This is similar to the CSL style that you see, just in all carbon. These are just like F8X. Most of them you'll see here all lined up, all have front lips, all are lowered with a sort of spring adjustable kit or coilover. Most have an upgraded hood. There's an Alpha N hood here. With the controversy of the new G8X platform design, this allows the owners to go head to head in the same hall with modified M3s to see which one really takes the cake and what is their favorite. Now let's go back in time into the Vintage Vault. So now we're here in the Vintage Vault, which is another showcase of 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s BMWs. This is restricted only to those. So the latest car we have in here is an E46 M3, but I'm gonna show you some truly vintage race cars that are built for the period right behind Dan. Right here is a piece of BMW motorsport history. This is one of the two Hyde Park race cars from 1969. This is a BMW 2002 that is prepared with the Alpina flares to race in the Trans Am series, which was a series of these cars that raced in 1970, 71, and 72. The particular colors are based on the oil can sponsorship, which is actually shown on the side here. This is Atlantic blue with Inca orange. And one of the neatest details on the car is this actually has a hand-painted livery. All of the lettering here on the hood, the number that is also on the hood and on the back trunk has all been hand-painted, just in the way that it would have been done in the late 60s, early 70s. This car has the famous pig cheek flares. This is one of 3 flare designs that raced in the period. These are from Alpina originally, and they of course had to have the widened wheels. These are the Lemur Felgen wheels, multi-piece wheel to match well with the Hoosier semi-slicks and the wide body design for the Trans Am series. Another really cool detail about this car is the roll cage that's inside. You will see a new seat, a safer seat from when they raced originally, but this cage was put back to the original way it was designed and made in these cars in the late 60s by Manified. So they used some historic photos, some ways that they had some other cars they're able to look at and they brought into the shop to copy the cage so it was done in the period correct way. And this is a car that was recreated but was the original VIN that was raced. It was actually shown in a couple different liveries throughout its history, but this was his favorite design that he wanted to show, and this is racing in the historic races at Monterey and B Sedan. We just actually saw this at the Rolex Monterey Historics in Pebble Beach. So let me take you outside to show you some of the final pieces to the BMW Invasion 2025 show. So we're outside and this is the final piece to the puzzle for BMW Invasion. We're in the outdoor vendor section with the main stage behind us. And this is a special show for California. We're out here on the West Coast. We wanted to see how California puts on a show like this. And let me tell you, everybody showed up. We had vintage cars, we had brand new cars, we had highly modified, kind of some stock cars. A ton of vendors are here. Again, over 10,000 people, 1,300 cars on site. We cannot wait next year to show you guys the show for 2026. We'll see you next year.